Alright, I'm back with another recording. It is almost 2 in the afternoon. It is day 23 of this challenge. And we're getting started with the next location of the challenge, which is the gold mine, which ironically has no gold in it. I don't know. They called it a gold mine, and yet there's no gold to be found at all. So that's literal false advertising. And there's 4 more drops to get in the gold mine. The first one is from the thirsty coil snake, which has an 8 in 128 chance of dropping a chick. There's the mad duck, which has an 8 in 128 chance of dropping a fresh egg. The noose man, yes, that's the actual name of that enemy, which has a 16 in 128 chance of dropping a carton of cream. And then finally, the gigantic ant, which has a 4 in 128 chance of dropping a double burger. So yeah, most of the enemies have high drop rates, but the only one that has a low drop rate is the gigantic ant. So it will be best to save the gigantic ant for last. Now, the gold mine is a very interesting part of EarthBound, because the gold mine is essentially a massive maze where the objective is to defeat the next boss of the game, called the Guardian Diggers, which are just recolored Mondo moles. But the funny thing about the Guardian Diggers is that all 5 of them are fighting with each other over who's the 3rd strongest out of all of them. Yeah, I'm not even joking. They're actually fighting over who's the 3rd strongest. Only in a game like EarthBound. So the first objective for the gold mine is to defeat 4 out of the 5 Guardian Diggers and then start grinding the enemies. And the reason why I'm not going to fight all 5 of them is because once you beat all 5 Guardian Diggers, the enemies in this gold mine will never spawn ever again. So yeah, we have to be careful here. But yeah, naturally we're going to have to fight some enemies along the way. So yeah. And remember, the encounters with the enemies do not count if I'm not actively grinding. So if I happen to get a drop, then that's lucky. So yeah, we have to fight 4 out of the 5 Guardian Diggers. And if I'm being honest, really the only annoying enemy here is the thirsty coil snake, which I somehow one-shot. Because they do a ton of damage to you, and on top of that, they can poison you, which does even more damage to you. So that's great. We love being poisoned, right guys? But other than that, the gold mine really isn't that bad to get through. Oh, you monkey. Oh, that still didn't kill him? Oh yeah, and there are gonna be some times where my characters run out of psychic points to heal poison and to deal damage. So yeah, naturally we're gonna have to take some breaks. Wait, how much does healing beta cost? 8 psychic points. I just wasted 16 psychic points just then. And Ness does not have a lot of psychic points at this point of the game. And Paula doesn't have PSI healing. So yeah, it really sucks. But hey, at least we have a ton of food as of right now. Because naturally we're gonna run out of food too. Alright, let's fight the first Guardian Digger. Like, dude, during the boss fight, it literally says number 3 in the background. Like, how cool is that? Like, dude, the comedy in this game is just top tier. Like, none of them are making fun of the other because they're the weakest. They're not fighting over each other of who's the strongest of all of them. They're fighting over who's the 3rd strongest. Alright, I'm gonna give this IQ capsule to Jeff because he needs to be able to fix broken items, and fixing broken items is dependent on his IQ stat. Even though I had a guide, I just didn't know what I was supposed to do. Alright, let's fight the second Guardian Digger. Okay, Jeff is now level 32. Which, that's great that we're gonna be leveling up while fighting the boss, because we need the XP. You know, it's like I said earlier in one of the videos earlier in the challenge. You want to be over leveled, but you also don't want to be over leveled at the same time. Because I remember by the time I got to the gold mine, Ness was at like level 66 or something. Yeah, I grinded the challenge way too much. Because I didn't think to use save states, okay? Don't judge me. And that didn't kill him. Alright, let's fight the 3rd Guardian Digger. Capsule. I need to give that big bottle rocket to Jeff. Platinum band. Alright, I'm gonna give the platinum band to Paula because she needs defense. The 4th Guardian Digger. And we won't actually fight the 5th one until we get all the drops here. Because again, I need to get all the drops here in the gold mine, otherwise I will fail the challenge. Oh wait, he's literally 1 hit. And I know that because I know that the Guardian Diggers have 380 HP during a battle. And Paul just did 379 damage. Like he was quite literally 1 hit. Point of defense. Now I'm gonna give this to Jeff. Yeah. Wait, Jeff's inventory is full again. Like, dude. He has so many big bottle rockets. Alright, so 4 out of the 5 Guardian Diggers are dead now. So now we can actually start grinding for the drops. And it's crazy that for the unedited version of this video, it's been 25 minutes of recording. And those 25 minutes is just walking around defeating the 4 Guardian Diggers. But at least this location makes up for that by having most enemies having high drop rates. So I think it would be easiest to start off with the Noose Man first, since they have the highest drop rate of all the enemies here. And it shouldn't really take too long to find one, because these things are basically everywhere. Okay, I gotta test this out. Okay, it works. No enemies are trying to group up. Alright, the Noose Man is singled out. We have the save state. So let's go ahead and start grinding. I'm like anticipating it happening. But that's the thing with this challenge. You don't know if you got the enemy's drop until the battle was over and the enemy's dead. Oh, yes. There it is, the carton of cream. We got it. That's the first drop down in the gold mine. Alright, let's use the exit mouse. And the carton of cream is actually a condiment in this game. And if you guys don't know, condiments and seasonings are automatically applied when you try to eat food. Wait, say if Ness has this pizza in his inventory, in which he doesn't because it's in Paula's inventory, but I'm just making an example. Ness would try to eat the pizza and then the carton of cream will automatically be applied to it. If you mix condiments and seasonings with the right foods, it heals you more HP. But mix them with the wrong foods and it'll heal you less HP than it would if you ate the food item without the seasoning or condiment. But my question is, how are you supposed to know which foods go with what? Like, the game never tells you. which foods go with what condiments or seasonings. But I mean, some of them are just obvious, you know, like a ketchup packet would go with a hamburger or a bag of fries. But then some of them are just, okay, who is even thinking about doing that? But that is it for this recording. That's crazy that it only took around like 3 or 4 minutes or something. And then literally the rest of this unedited video is just walking around. But we'll do more of the gold mine later.